Giants legend and should be Pro Football Hall of Famer Carl Banks, he just called out Dexter Lawrence, and I say in quotes, nobody respects you. We'll break that down, and then if you want to see me rip Joe Shane at the end of today's video, stick around. We know the Giants' run defense has been a joke this season. It was terrible against the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, and it's honestly been a joke at the bottom of the NFL for 5 years in a row. And look, I'm not going to put all this on Dexter Lawrence. I don't know if he's healthy. Carl points that out as well. Dexter Lawrence also has set such a high bar for his expectations that it's almost unfair to ask him to play at that level. But he's paid to play at that level. I love Dexter Lawrence. One of my favorite players to ever play for the New York Football Giants. But to say it nicely, he is not living up to the standard that he has created for himself. Carl Banks said this, a little bit of a long quote. Stick with me, and you can go check out Carl Banks and Bob Papa's podcast on YouTube called Believe in Giants. They do awesome work. Banks saying, quote, Dexter Lawrence, nobody respects you anymore. Nobody. Your opponents do not respect you. The pre-injury Dexter is not there in their heads. They don't respect you. And there's a difference. You're on the field. They're blocking you with a 9-year backup center. Talking about the Philadelphia Eagles playing Toth yesterday. You're not making a difference. The old Dexter would, okay? There are a lot of things that go into your performance. Only you know what that is. Whether you're still recovering or not, I'm just telling you now, I'm looking at enough tape to know that your opponents don't respect you. Not like they used to. And here's the thing. When Darius Alexander gets in the game, when Roy Robertson-Harris gets in the game, and they substitute for you, those guys, DJ Davidson, those guys are making plays against the same guys that are blocking you. I'm just going to say this again. I don't know the circumstances, but it's time for you to start expecting more of yourself. I don't know if you're injured. I don't know if you're fully recovered, but it's time to start asking more of yourself because they don't respect you. Your opponents don't respect you. Sheesh. I mean, Carl Banks is one of the more positive talking heads for the New York Giants. It's disrespectful to even say it to Carl Banks, one of the best players to ever wear a New York Giants jersey, should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is extremely positive. That's about as ruthless of a call out that I have heard, especially to a player of Dexter Lawrence's caliber. And you know what? Carl, you're 100% correct. Someone had to say it. And I think it's good that it comes from somebody like you, Mr. Banks, who has played this game at the highest level and is and was and always will be a New York Giants legend. It doesn't take much to see that Dexter Lawrence is not playing at the same level that he once did. They credited him with half a sack yesterday against the Eagles. I don't even know if that is fair, to be fair. He had 3 tackles, 0 tackles for loss, 0 stops. A stop is considered a tackle that results in a negative play for the offense. He had 0 of them, and he had 2 quarterback pressures. He hasn't really been all that good this year. He's been solid, but he hasn't played like Sexy Dexy. 20 tackles this year, 1 tackle for loss, 0.5 sacks, 16 pressures, and 3 QB hits. He is not playing like the guy he once was. You look at what he's done this year compared to years in the past, and it's easy to paint the picture that he's not the same guy. Just look at the pressures. He had 70 in 2022. He had 65 in 2023. He had 36 in 12 games last year. He's on pace for less than 35 pressures this year. He is on pace to have his worst season statistically he has had in the NFL, really ever. Has half a sack in 8 games. He had 9 sacks in 12 games last year. Look, I love Dexter Lawrence, but he has not been good enough. There's only been a couple players on this Giants defense that's been good enough, but it doesn't matter. It takes 11 people on the field to get the job done. It needs 11 people doing their job, executing, and getting it done. Dexter Lawrence is not the biggest problem for the New York Giants at all. But right now, he's not helping find the solution, and that hurts. It does. I'll always love Dexter Lawrence. I'll always support Dexter Lawrence. And he could go and dominate the 76ers, the San Francisco 49ers this week. He's that good of a player. He can flip that switch. He's wearing the elbow brace. I wouldn't be shocked if he's still hurt. But if you're on the field, you have to play to your standard. And he is not. He's not earning his paycheck right now. And the way he is playing, it has a ripple effect on this defense, specifically this run defense, which is once again one of the worst in the National Football League. I've got a hell of a lot more to say, but first I got to give a huge shout out to our proud sponsor of today's show, that is GLD. They've hooked me up with an awesome chain and pendant, and you can get a chain today by going to GLD.com, using that code CHAT, and you're going to get 50% off plus a free chain. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description. Let's be real. Buying men's jewelry used to be a nightmare. It was low-quality junk that snapped after a week, or it was insanely overpriced with ridiculous markups. That's why I rock with GLD. You're getting quality pieces that are built to last without breaking the bank. And unlike a lot of other companies, GLD only uses real gold. None of that cheap stuff. What I love about GLD is that every single stone is meticulously hand set, and every single piece is guaranteed for life. It's literally built to last for the rest of your life. And they hooked me up with this awesome chain, as well as this stylish, beautiful Knicks pendant. They also have New York Giants pendants, like we just showed you. They have official collabs with the NBA, WNBA, MLB, NCAA, MLS, NFL, and even DC Comics. Chains and pendants that let you rep what you love. Work hard and change the game. For a limited time only, new customers are getting an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off plus a free chain at GLD.com. That's 50% off and a free chain with the code CHAT at GLD.com. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them Chat Sports sent you. The New York Giants got ripped to shreds on the ground yesterday by the Philadelphia Eagles, and it started on play 2 from scrimmage, where this guy ripped a 65-yard runoff to put 6 on the board for Philly. 14 carries, 150 yards, over 10 yards per tote for this guy. And you also let Tank Bigsby go for 10 yards per carry. 9 carries, 104 yards. So he didn't just get ripped by the other number 26. He also got ripped by Tank Bigsby. He gave up 2 rushers for over 100 yards, both averaging more than 10 yards per tote. An absolute joke. And it's been the story of the New York Giants since Dave Gettleman was in offense, since Joe Schoen put his nameplate on his new desk, and now in year 4 of the Joe Schoen experiment. You have allowed 5.7 yards per rush this year, the worst in the NFL. You've allowed 148.9 rushing yards per game, 30th best in the NFL. You are a bottom 3 yards per game team, and you are the worst team in the NFL when it comes to yards per rush. You're also the worst team in the NFL when it comes to EPA allowed per rush. Rush EPA allowed per play. The New York Giants are allowing 0.15 estimated points added per rush. No other team is more than 0.10. You are once again the laughingstock of the NFL when it comes to stopping the run. And it's been that way for way too damn long. This was the last year of Dave Gettleman. and Joe Judge. You allowed 129 rushing yards per game, 25th best. Joe Shane steps into office, makes a roster worse. 144 yards per game, 27th best. 132 yards per game, 29th best. 136 yards per game, 27th best. And this year, you're allowing the most rushing yards per game you have allowed in your tenure, Mr. Joseph Shane. This defense is broken from top to bottom. From general manager, the guy that buys the groceries, to the coaches that cook the dinner, and the players that are supposed to execute. There's some players that are executing. I think Kayvon Thibodeau's been pretty solid in the run game for most of the time. I think Brian Burns has been pretty solid in the run game for most of the time. Abdul Carter's had some splash plays. But man, you can't just be the worst rush defense in the NFL because Micah McFadden, who is a good player, is not playing. Darius Muasau is not a good football player. Bobby Okereke is not a good football player anymore. Tyler Nubin is not a good football player. You're broken from top to bottom. And when teams get in first and long or second and long, they pick up first downs at a rate that is unbelievable. Shout out to Bobby Skinner. Go give him a follow on Twitter. Go support his show, Giants Nation Show, YouTube, and all podcast feeds. He's crushing it, as always. Says, Giants defensive series when a first/second and 11 plus is created. So when there's a first down, that's 11 plus yards, or a second down, that is 11 plus yards. This is what happens. Offenses have faced that against the New York Giants 35 times. They've converted 25 first downs. 69 plays for 600 yards, including penalties. 8.7 yards per play allowed. Repeat, 25 of 35 times when the Giants defense had them in first and second, and 11 plus yards. The other team got a first down. I can't even compute that inside my brain. And the worst part about it is 85% of the resources on this football team have been spent on the defense. First round pick at $90 million for Dexter Lawrence. Second round pick and $150 million for Brian Burns. First round pick on Kayvon Thibodeau. First round pick on Abdul Carter. First round pick on Deonte Banks. Second round pick on Tyler Nubin. Big time money to Javon Holland. Big time money to Paulson Adebo. Third round pick on Andrew Phillips. Third round pick on Cordell Flott. Like, you are using all your resources on defense. In fact, you're the top 5 highest paid defenses in the National Football League. And you suck on the defensive side of the ball. You've given up 71 points in the past 5 quarters. Not past 5 games. Not past 5 halves. 5 freaking quarters. You've given up 71 points. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Nothing about this football team, especially with Cam Scadaboo out the door and outside of Jackson Dart, this football team does not represent what it means to be a New York Giant. That means stopping the run. That means being smash mouth on defense. Fast, physical, aggressive. The New York Giants are soft, slow, and passive on defense. Not the New York Giant way. And it's Joe Shane's fault. It absolutely is Joe Shane's fault. He buys the groceries. He hires the cooks. He entered the New York Giants general manager position when the Giants in 2021, I want to get this 100% correct, were the 25th best run defense, allowing 129 yards. So what do? Okay, I got to fix the run defense. I got to add some defensive tackles to this team. These are the defensive tackles he's added since taking over as a GM. Justin Ellis, Rakeem Nunez-Roches. A'Shawn Robinson was really good for 1 year. Then you let him walk in free agency. You traded Leonard Williams for a second-round pick. You turned Leonard Williams into Tyler Nubin. You signed Jeremiah Ledbetter, didn't make the 53. You added Roy Robertson Harris, And then you drafted DJ Davidson, you drafted Jordan Riley, and you drafted Darius Alexander. You have not added any impact players at the defensive tackle spot. You were gifted Dexter Lawrence. You've done nothing. You spent a first-round pick on Kayvon Thibodeau, spent a first-round pick on Abdul Carter, you traded for Brian Burns. You've done nothing to improve the defensive tackle room. You've done nothing to improve the run game on defense. In fact, it's actually gotten worse since you have taken over when they were the 25th best. Now, you're the 30th best. You had an easy reset button to hit, John Mara. An easy one. Like an actual easy button where all you could have said was, boop! Number 3 pick, $50+ million in cap space, and like 5 picks inside the top 100. And you didn't do it. And now you're paying the price of still employing Joe Schoen. It's your fault. It's your fault. Make sure you are following me on social media. We'll be here all year long. Hopefully Joe Schoen's not here much longer. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.